It's been a while, my brothers and sisters. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Mike, and I'm simply here to do God's work as always. And I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to get back to this video. All I've been doing is working, and working. I'm working 7 days a week, so I haven't had time to do any of this. But I do apologize about that. I missed you guys, and I'm glad to be back. But today, I just want to talk about the end times. Like, can you guys feel it? Can you guys feel it getting closer to the end times? I don't know who that watches my channel watches YouTube and watches the videos that I watch, like Simp Saver or Yankee the Guy or anything like that, or anything of the sort. But just the delusion that's going on out there is absolutely crazy. It really is. You got these people standing up for Palestine, and they have no idea what Palestine's even about. You got the LGBTQ agenda, standing up for men going in women's bathrooms and thinking that you can transition into the opposite gender. It's delusion at its finest, and it's like they are so brainwashed they don't even know they're brainwashed. It's horrible. Like, I've just been watching it and watching it and watching the world steadily decline, and it's getting out of hand. It is crazy. You got politicians out there fighting against ICE, politicians, mayors fighting against ICE, the people that are actually doing their jobs fighting against ICE. What are you doing? And you have all these, of course, all these liberals out there, libs, libtards, whatever you want to call them, out there supporting these illegal immigrants. They want to support these illegal immigrants until the time that an illegal immigrant does something nasty to them, and then they're going to play the victim and be like, oh no, they shouldn't be in this country. Well, you advocated for them to come into this country illegally. And then you'll sit there and argue with someone until you're blue in the face, stating that they're not doing anything wrong. Coming into this country is illegal. Coming into this country illegally is illegal. That's illegal. So what you're saying is, if they can do that, so if I want to just walk up on you and punch you directly in the face, I shouldn't be arrested for it? That's what you guys are saying. But if you say that to them, they'll look at you dead in the face and be like, no, you need to be arrested for that. That's illegal. So it's them coming into this country. They're going to be like, no, they're hard workers. They've done nothing wrong. They're just trying to fend for their families and make $1 or whatever. I'm like, it's still illegal. Just because you've been in this country for a couple years and not been found by ICE, it's still illegal. That's like if you murder somebody and it goes into a cold case, the minute evidence opens up that cold case and they find who you are, they're going to come and arrest you still. The same thing. It is the same thing. This world is topsy-turvy. You got dudes going into female bathrooms at gyms, I should just say gyms, and masturbating. Dudes going into female locker rooms and masturbating. And you got people on the comments supporting that person. Oh, he didn't do nothing wrong. He was masturbating. It was a dude masturbating in a female's bathroom. That's disgusting. This world is coming to an end, and people can't see it. They really just can't. That's disgusting. And I'm pretty sure that guy got banned from all gyms. But of course, you know, the left side trying to get everybody canceled that tries to get all that stuff shut down. Get all the perverts and stuff like that off TikTok or shut down or are getting canceled for it. And of course, you know, TikTok is a perverted site anyways. Those who run TikTok are perverts. That's all it is. That's why they stand up for these psychopaths. That's all it is. I don't get it. One dude just calling out these people that are being absolute disgusting perverts is getting canceled because he thinks that women should have their own private spaces, which they should. No man belongs in a woman's private space. What is wrong with you? Well, he feels like a woman. I don't care what he feels like. No one cares about his feelings. What we care about is what's right and wrong, what is truth. And it's like, oh, this democratic, democratic left side they're scared of truth. They're scared of God. They're scared of Jesus. That's all it is. And you can see it plain as day. And they'll look at you directly in the face and be like, no, we're not. Yeah, you are. Because most of the time when you're having a debate with somebody and that right side destroys your argument, the only thing that you can resort to is name calling. That's all you can do. Oh, racist, transphobe, bigot, Nazi. That's the most famous one right now. Nazi. They're the Nazi, but you guys shave your heads and look all kinds of weird looking like Nazis. I've seen plenty of them shave their hair all the way off, looking directly like Nazis. And they're like, no, we're not Nazis. You look like one. No, we don't. We look normal. You look normal. With all that face garbage on you, the stupid septum ring piercing, it's absolutely trash. And it's like it's mandatory. If you're going to be a leftist, it's mandatory. You have to have a septum ring and you have to have colored hair. That's what's going on. Is they're putting this hair dye in their hair and it's seeping into their brain and it's making them brain dead. Because they'll try to argue with you about something they have no idea. You have people out there calling other people fascists, and you ask them, what is a fascist? And they'll look at you dead in the eyes and be like, oh, you don't know what a fascist is? Okay. Humor me. Tell me what a fascist is. I don't have to tell you what a fascist is. You should know that. No, I want you to tell me what a fascist is. Since you're out here, like calling people fascists, what is a fascist? They'll just look at you and be like, no, 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 and walk away or try to assault you because they have demons in them. That's all it is. And a lot of these people don't even want to believe in demons. I'm like, yeah, you got demons in you. The left side is completely demonic and it is taken over by demons. I'm not saying that the right side doesn't have its radical people, but there is a lot more people on the right side that makes sense than there is the left. But government to me in general is just, it's all demonic. One side's just a lesser evil. You never know when our side's going to finally be like, okay, we lied. We're demonic too. You never know. You never know when the government's going to be like, we're just going to take over everything. Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen eventually. People would be like, well, the world's round. And how do you know the world's round? Oh, I was taught it in school. How do you know you weren't lied to? How? And here's a good example of this. I went to my dad's Christmas party yesterday night, and my niece was there. And she's been brainwashed by the left side. She does the colored hair, and she believes there's different kind of genders and all this dumb crap. And me and my girl got into an argument with her. Now, I guess I'm going to say argument because that's all it is anymore. It always turns into an argument. Got into an argument with her because she believes in Buddhism. When I called her out and said, Buddhism's trash. It's false. It really is. Even Buddha said his religion wasn't the true way. Even he said that before his death. And she's like, no, he did. Yeah, he did. You're 14. I'm 36. I know more about it than you do. And it's just these kids these days that think they know everything. They're 14, 15, and they think they know everything about everything, and they don't know anything because they haven't smacked in the face with life yet. That's what it is. Oh, I know this. No, you don't. Life hasn't even smacked you yet. But anyway, getting off topic. We wanted to sit there and explain to her that like Jesus is the way. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And she's like, well, I just don't believe in Jesus. We just don't have any proof of Jesus. Yeah, we do. We have the manuscripts of Jesus. We have all that stuff. We have the manuscripts. We have the gospel, firsthand accounts of Jesus Christ. And she's just like, no, I don't believe in all that stuff. But you believe in the science book that your teacher gave to you, and you read it and you believed it. Well, yeah. Why do you believe it and not that? I told her straight up, that doesn't make sense. She's like, well, they have pictures and stuff like that. They have pictures and stuff. Just because they have pictures, you believe that the earth is round and you believe that the Big Bang, she thinks that the Big Bang, it just happened. She believes that two germs came together and created the Big Bang. And I looked at her like, who told you that? Scientists already said, because she believes in science, and so, scientists already said that life cannot come from non-life. So what's your argument now? She's like, well, that's just what I believe. You have to have a legit reason why. She's like, no, I just that's what I believe, but you don't believe in Jesus Christ. And we have the manuscripts of everything that he did while he was on this earth. I just don't believe he resurrected I believe he was a real person. I just don't believe he resurrected from the dead. You don't believe he resurrected from the dead. That's what makes Jesus so special. He's the only one who has ever rose from the dead in 3 days. The only one. What about the Shroud of Turin? She's like, I was like, that's evidence right there. And she said, I believe in science. I was like, almost every scientist on the planet has studied the Shroud of Turin, and they cannot figure out how it was created, how it was done. And Jesus' imprint is on it, along with all the scars and battle wounds, basically. All of his assault wounds or whatever. Guy did nothing wrong, lived an absolutely perfect life, did nothing wrong. And these people had to spit on him, hit him, whip him, rip his beard out of his face, press a crown of thorns into his brain. It's ridiculous. Every time I think about it, it just makes me so angry because what was the purpose of that? Oh, he's threatening our power. So we got to kill him. It's just like the government now. Anytime anybody ever follows anybody that has an actual, like, legit, a good example would be Charlie Kirk. Anybody who has a good example on life and is actually leading people in the right direction, they kill them. They always kill them. That's how you know this world's getting evil. It's becoming more and more and more evil. You got these Muslims over here, these people that protest for Palestine, all these LGBTQ people that protest for Palestine, and it's like, what are you protesting for? If you went over to Palestine, they would kill you on the spot. They don't like you people. And they're like, no, that's not true. Go over there. No. Then why are you wanting them to come over here and bring their disgusting religion into our Christian nation? The United States is a Christian nation. Why are you wanting them to come over here and destroy Christianity? You know, their religion wants nothing to do with what you believe in. And they will look at you dead in the eyes, just brain dead, like, that's not true. I'm like, yeah, it is. Obviously, you haven't done any freaking research. Yes, I have. Then tell me a little bit about Palestine, then. Tell me a little bit about it. And you're saying there, all you hear is crickets. Or they'll call you a bigot, a fascist, or a transphobe. It's like, oh, you just don't like trans people. I don't like trans people. I don't like that it's not real. It's made up. And you guys are trying to push that made up fantasy on normal people. Oh, I should be able to go into a woman's bathroom because I feel like a woman. That's like me going to a gym and being like, well, I feel like a woman, even though I have a cock and balls, and me going in there, I feel like a woman. I need to go into that bathroom. I need to watch girls undress. That's all it is. All these weirdos going into the bathroom, they're just undercover perverts. That's all it is. Dressing up as girls. Undercover perverts is all they are. And most of the people advocating for them to go into women's bathroom are women. What's the point in that? That makes no sense. Oh, they should be allowed to come in. Then what's wrong with them coming in? So you don't have a problem with them swinging their cock and balls in your face? You don't have a problem with that? They're like, no, yeah, until it happens. And then you're like, oh, you pervert, what are you doing in here? Well, we told you that he was a man to begin with, and you didn't want anything to do with it. We told you that. We told you he was pretending. We told you he was a pervert. Just like the transgenders that go into women's prisons and they rape females. And they're like, no, that's not going on. Yeah, it is. Because we all heard it. And we all seen it on TV. And we all researched it. Yeah, it is. That's why they're removing transgenders out of female prisons and putting them in where they belong. Just like that guy that was rubbing his balls in the female bathroom. How absolutely, utterly disgusting. That is sick. Just like these disgusting, perverted books that are going into kids' schools for 4-year-olds. For 4-year-olds. It's like, what was the one I seen today where it was like, not all men have basically penises. The book said that. Not all men have penises. And if you don't know what they have, you should treat them with respect on, not knowing what they have. I'm like, and it was a senator reading it, and he literally looked at it and was like, trash, and threw the book out. Pulled out another one. And it was a bunch of naked men and women in the book, and he showed everybody, like, why is this in your schools? Why is that in your schools? And the person on the receiving end was like, oh, I don't know why they're in my schools. He said, you're the director of the school. How do you not know why those books are in your library? He's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, no, you advocated for it, and now that you're getting called out for it, you're like, well, I don't know. No, you're just a pervert. You're part of this left-wing agenda, psychotic, Jewish, Islamic, Mohammed agenda. That's all it is. Jews, they just want to control everything. Those are the ones in charge right now, are Jewish people. They're the ones that want control over the entire world. They're demonic. It's funny that Jesus came from Jews or whatever, and they don't even believe in him. Oh, he was just a prophet. Muhammad is the true God. Muhammad was born out of a butt of a pig. And some people believe he was born out of crap itself. Oh, hey, but he's a true God. No, he's not. Sounds like a demon to me, or just a person. Because, every other What's it say? Every other saying in the Bible about, when an angel shows up is fear not, do not be afraid. Anytime anybody has come across an angel, do not be afraid. Or, the Spirit of God, do not be afraid. Fear not this, fear not that. Do not be afraid. And then Muhammad gets approached by a demon and he's like, I gotta run to my freaking false God and pray to him. And he's still in fear. That doesn't make any sense. That's how you know this stuff is garbage. I even watched the AI system, Christianity versus the Quran. Christianity blew the Quran out of the water because the Quran didn't make any sense. The algorithms on the Christian AI destroyed the Quran because the Quran's false. It's garbage. And you have people say, well, I believe in science. How was the world created then? Well, it's a singularity. Two atoms came together and created all this. So that's like saying if I flip a coin, it lands on heads every single time. That's the same thing. If you want to say all this perfect stuff was made by chance, everything that you see, this whole world was made by chance, the whole galaxy, the universe, everything was made by chance in perfect synchronicity. That's like me flipping a coin and every single time it should land on heads without failure. That's the same thing. And you'll tell them that, and they're like, no, it's not even the same thing. How is it not the same thing? How? People just don't have any answers anymore. They don't even know what they're advocating for. Oh, the illegals deserve to come into this country. Why? Are you going to take them in? Well, no, I don't have the space. Of course. They all have the same excuse. I don't have the space to take them in. Oh, yeah, that's right. You just want everybody else to do your bidding for you. You want everybody else to come out of pocket and pay for them. You don't want to do it. You're just out here with no job, standing on the side of the street saying, oh, illegals should come in. Screw ICE. And then getting in their way and impeding them in their work. And you wonder why you all get maced in the face and almost ran over by cars because you want to stand in front of a 15,000-pound vehicle and just try to stuff it with your hands. Like, no, don't kill me. And then when you get knocked over, you're like, oh, see, they're evil. No, you're an idiot for standing in the road. Cars belong in the road, not human beings. It makes no sense. I do not get the left agenda at all. It's completely and utterly false and insane. If we had asylums that still work like they did back then, none of this stuff would be going on. But of course, the only people that they throw in asylums nowadays are the ones that aren't crazy. They're the ones that actually probably know what's going on. They're crazy. Let's throw them in an asylum and silence them. Or we're just going to kill them. That's exactly what happens. The Jewish are running this world and they're absolutely evil. They think they're the chosen people. Evil. They're evil. I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means, and I'm still struggling to be the Christian I want to be. But, following God is not easy. It is not easy. We even had Buddhists come out of their religion and convert to Christianity, and they're like, this is way harder than Buddhism. Way harder. I'm like, yeah, it is. Because you almost have to be perfect. You have to give up this world, which I was trying to explain to my niece. She said, well, what do we have to do to get into heaven? Because I don't believe in heaven and hell for real. I'm like, what do you believe in? Nirvana? That's retarded. Nirvana is nothing but like, oh, I become a deity and I spend the rest of eternity alone. That's stupid. And that even sounds made up. She wanted to be like, well, what books do you guys like to read? Me and my girl. What books do you guys like to read? We like to read the Bible. Any other books? We like to read the Bible because it's the only book like itself. No other book is like the Bible. Not one. It all interconnects perfectly. And some people want to be like, no, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. You just never read it. That's all it is. Anybody who says the Bible doesn't interconnect or contradict itself hasn't read it. Just keep that in mind. Haven't read it. Because in the Bible, you have to go back and forth. Some things you'll read in Jeremiah, you got to go back to Nehemiah. Some things you'll read in Matthew, you'll have to go back to Ezekiel, Hosea, Proverbs, all that stuff. You got to go back and forth, but it all adds up. One of the biggest things is like, oh, well, so, everybody, if you're gay, you're born gay. No, you're not. Nobody's born gay. I watched something today where the dude said, "Oh, it's genetics that pass down your." I don't even know how to really state this, but oh, genetics pass down gayism or whatever you want to call it, homosexuality. It passes it down through your genetics. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because one that just disproves that altogether is your parents were straight and they had you. They weren't gay. You're gay come from you choosing it, and you were groomed. You can be groomed at 4, 5, 6, 7, depends on what you watch, depending upon what people you're around, what you're doing in schools, which is why kids should be homeschooled now, because school doesn't teach anything good. For Christ's sakes, I caught my 14-year-old daughter on Snapchat. I don't know why she's got a Snapchat, but I caught her twerking on Snapchat. It's because of the people she hangs around at school. And I lost my ever-loving mind on her. I didn't raise no tramp. This is all because she's being raised by her mom. She doesn't have a real father figure in her life. That's the problem. All these people want to be like, oh, a woman can do the mom and the dad role. No, you can't. We're all made special in God's eyes. Men are men, women are women. That's the way it is. Sure, women do the soft teachings, men do the stern teachings, is what I try to tell my baby's mom. No, she needs me in her life so I can teach her the stern teachings that you teach her the soft teachings, because, of course, her mom tried to, like, protect her and was like, you don't need to call her this, you don't need to call her that, you don't need to be mean about it. I'm like, no, you don't need to be mean about it. She needs the best of both worlds. She needs your soft side, your soft touch, and my firm hand. That's what she needs. That's why all these kids today are just ungrateful. You know how many Christmas things I watched the other day where they open a present and it's not what they wanted and they just destroy whatever the parents got them. And the parents are standing there like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Me? I just gave him an elbow drop. Boom. Like, no. It's disrespectful. It's so ungrateful. How were you guys raised? How was I raised? I was raised with a paddle on a belt. That's why I turned out the way I turned out. But you got these kids nowadays that don't get touched and they do whatever they want to. They run ragged. They run the household. The kids do. And the parents are like, I don't know why my kid acts like that. I do, because you're not disciplining them. I don't really know if the Bible advocates for, like punishing your kids in that way, but it works. I'm sorry, but it does. You punish your kids, spank their bottoms, give them the belt, put them in the corner. It works. That's why I turned out the way I turned. That's why almost every person that's 30, 35, 40, 50, the ones that are sane, turned out to be normal, respectful. They know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. And it gets on my nerves to see 60-year-old men and women, 70-year-old men and women advocating for this transgender bullcrap. That gets on my nerves so bad. At gay pride parades, half naked, walking around in front of kids. You degenerate old people. And I understand, back in the day, it was frowned upon for you to be a homosexual and all that, so you guys kept it in the closet. Sure. And now all of a sudden this woke agenda's out and gay pride parades are everywhere, which I don't understand why gay pride parades are a thing. You guys are celebrating being homosexuals. It's sexual. You guys are celebrating sexuality. That's a sin. It's completely and utterly demonic. But you have these old people doing it. It's disgusting. Like I said, following God is not easy. I literally told my niece, you have to give up the world. Because she was talking about what kind of music I like. She's like, you need Deftones, Disturbed. I was like, yeah, I used to like all that stuff. I don't really listen to it no more because it's not godly music. We shouldn't be doing anything that's ungodly. We really shouldn't. Granted, it's hard to give up the scary movies. Everybody likes scary movies. I just got done watching that season of Dairy. It was really good. But I know I shouldn't be watching it because it is a demon. Clearly. It's based on fear. It's a demon. But that's all that they got coming out nowadays is demonic movies. That's all that's coming out. Sure, they got Jesus movies here and there. They're cartoons. They're all cartoons, of course. But They're really good. I can't wait to see that movie, David. You know, David and Goliath. I can't wait to see that. That movie that I just watched recently, King of Kings, that was super good. But it's funny that they're all cartoons. It's like the only thing that they'll do with Jesus is make him into a cartoon. They won't make a real Jesus. The last Jesus movie that I saw that was real was Passion of the Christ. I heard Mel Gibson was coming out with the second Passion of the Christ, but we'll see. But still, it's like, it's the demonic agenda in Hollywood. Excuse me. And you'll see all these people in Hollywood, and they're all bone thin. They look like the life is being sucked out of them. And granted, every time I scroll on Facebook, you know, you see an actor pop up, and it's like, oh, I don't believe in Trump. I don't like Trump. He believes in Jesus. I don't believe in Jesus. I'm like, of course you have all these actors and actresses coming up and saying that because they're all part of the demonic agenda. They're all do this stuff. Balenciaga. It's all demonic. It really is. This world is going to crap, and it's almost the end of days. You can feel it. Time's speeding up. You know you can feel it. Everybody can feel it. And it's getting harder and harder to follow God because of all this psychotic stuff that's going on in the world. Even if you just watch the things that I watch, like I said, Simp Saver or Yanking a Guy, you look at these people and it makes you so angry how delusional they really are. And so I don't hate the person at all. I hate the stupidity. I do. Stupidity is one of my biggest pet peeves. It really is. Especially if they're looking you dead in the eyes with that stupid look on their face, knowing what they're saying is stupid. And if you prove them wrong, they still look at you like you're stupid. And you know for a fact they're the ones that are stupid. They're like, no. Okay, give me facts about why that is then. I don't have to. You should be able to look it up. Just like all these girls standing up for abortion. Oh, it's a women's body. It's a women's choice. You're murdering an innocent child. It's not a child yet. It's not out of the womb. Then what is it? It's a fetus. It's a clump of cells. It's a fetus. It's a clump of cells. What is it a fetus of? And they'll say directly, it's a human fetus. So it deserves human rights. No, because it's not out of the womb yet. So it has to be out of the womb to have human rights? You're disgusting. You're a murderer. That's all you are, is a murderer. Just like Charlie Kirk said in his video. So it has to be out of the womb to have human rights. It has to be able to survive on its own to have human rights. What about the babies that come out and put on incubators to survive? Do they not have human rights? And of course, the left side girl is like, oh, that's a different scenario. It's not a different scenario. He just proved you wrong, and you just don't like it. That's all it is. Just like my niece with the science crap. I proved her wrong and told her what science supports God and his existence. And she was like, well, I don't believe that. You just told me you believed in science. That's science-based. Just like the Shroud of Turin. It's science-based. Scientists can't figure out how it was created. If it was created like it was back in the day, it's impossible. That's what they say. She's like, well, I just don't believe that. I was like, see, you're just like every other lib out there. You believe in science until it goes against what you believe, and then you cast it aside. You can't do that. That's just ignorant. Ignorant. Of course, I asked her, you going to get a septum ring piercing too? She's like, oh yeah, eventually I'm going to get one. Of course you are, because it's required. What do you mean it's required? Haven't you seen any other lib out there that's got colored hair that got a septum piercing? It's required. It's freaking ridiculous. I'm kind of glad that they're getting the septum piercings because they let you know who crazy is. The colored hair, animals in the wild, rainforest, whatever, have different colors to tell you, to warn you about the toxicity that they have. Look at the left side. All colored haired cretins. All looking like they haven't taken showers in months. They look disgusting. You know, I'm not going to lie. Granted, I do not hate these people. I don't. It sounds like I do by the way I'm talking about them, but their stupidity gets on my nerves. It really does. I can't stand the stupidity. I hate stupidity. I don't hate them. I hate the stuff that comes out of their mouth. But it's like, you guys, or you, there's not one good-looking libtard out there. I've not seen one good-looking one. Not one. They all look like they haven't showered in months. They dress so weird with the clown makeup, and then they want you to take them seriously. You look like a demon. And you want me to take you seriously? Your whole face is covered in just clown makeup and piercings, and you want me to take you seriously? The girl with the demonic tattoo on her neck, and she's like, I don't know why I can't get a job. Because you have Satan on your neck. They don't want that in their place of work. That's why. Oh, the other person's like, oh, my piercings kept me from getting a job. Why? Because it's not professional. That's why. You know, like this right here, you can understand. But to have it all over your face, no, not at all. It doesn't make any sense. The end of times is coming. It really is coming. Jerusalem's going to have all this demonic AI ruling the nations, and that's what it's going to be. These Jewish people are trying to control everything. They're demonic. They're putting it in movies. These people that love demonic movies. You know, when you watch these demonic movies, and I know this, and I make mistakes of watching them too, but it just opens up doorways to demons. Just like my niece said, she's like, I don't know why she said this, but she's like, yeah, I told my dad, because he just got a new motorcycle, that I want to sage his motorcycle. I straight up looked at her and was like, why? So we can crash and die and burn? She's like, what do you mean? I was like, sweetheart, I was in witchcraft for 21 years. I know absolutely everything there is to know about the occult. Everything. And saging allows demons in. She said, no, they don't. Yes, they do. You don't know more than me. You're 14 years old. Life hasn't smacked you in the face yet. You don't know anything. Saging is demonic. It's witchcraft. Anything that has to do with witchcraft is demonic. It's in the Bible. Sorcery is against God's will. That's witchcraft. Fortune telling is against God's will. Tarot readings, witchcraft, goes against God. Crystal worshiping rocks, the stars, and the trees, goes against God's will. It's witchcraft. It's all witchcraft. I can't believe you have, I used to work at Land of Illusions, scaring people and all that. And I have some friends that, I picked up there. And there's this one friend of mine, I told him about Jesus. I was like, yeah, I changed my ways, man. I'm in Jesus now. He's like, that's incredible for you. I'm glad for you. I was like, I wish you could get into the same thing, man. He's like, well, I just don't believe in Jesus. I was like, but you believe in all this demonic stuff. You believe in Satan. You have it on your profile all the time. Pentagrams, all this stuff. Anything that you share on Facebook is demonic. You don't believe in Christ, but you believe in that. Without God, there would be no demonic. Because the devil wouldn't exist. The devil chose to be demonic. He chose to separate himself from God. He chose it. That's why the devil is so mad with humankind. That's why he hates us so much. Because we were made in God's image, and we have a chance to repent and get back to the Father if we screw up. They don't. Because they were born amongst the Father. They chose to leave his side. They knew how glorious he was, and they chose to leave him. We don't know how truly glorious the Father is. We've never stood in his presence. Not really. They have, and they chose to leave. That's why God cannot accept them. Because they saw his glory. They saw his absolute magnificence, and they chose to turn their backs on him. That's why angels did not get a chance to repent. Human beings are born in this flesh and are born into sin. They were born perfect, but of course Eve had to eat from the apple, and then Adam did it too, and it corrupted us. We were cast out of the garden, and now we are where we are today in a fallen state. But God loves us so much that he died. He put on flesh, and he died for us on the cross. That's what it is. And some people just don't want to believe that. Like, no, he didn't. I'm like, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. God is real. And if any of you guys haven't seen, her name is Queen, and she has a testimony. Just go to YouTube and type in Queen's testimony. It is one of the best testimonies I've ever seen. She saw Biggie in hell, how Biggie wanted to be a king, and he was behind demonic jail bars or whatever, and the demons got him out of his cell, and a fake crown and a robe appeared on him, and they put him in a juicer. And then she said he was a pile of goop on the floor, and he regenerated, and then they put him back in his cell, and he burst into flames from the inside out. Her testimony is one of the best testimonies I've ever seen in my life. One of the best ones. because Jesus saved her so many times. And you have people out there like, well, she's lying. You can't legitimately look at this woman and say she's lying. If you do, you're sick in the head. You really are, because it's truth. If there's anything that I got, it's discernment, and that's truth. She has truth in her testimony. I've seen a lot of testimonies that are truth, but I know a lot of people that believe in the gospel and all that, and they don't believe God gives visions. They don't believe in the miracles of God. They don't believe God gives miracles or gifts to people. They don't believe it. You got to do that work. Named Fred. He's all about the gospel. But I try to tell him, like, oh, I watch these testimonies. He's like, false, demonic. I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not. He's like, well, if Jesus doesn't talk to you and reveal himself as Jesus, it's demonic. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. He's like, it says it in the gospel. I'm like, okay. Okay. It also says people are going to get visions and stuff like that. He said, no, it doesn't mean that. Yeah, it does, because it says it directly in the gospel. I showed it to him like 4 places in the gospel where it says that. Excuse me. And he's like, no, that's not what it means. I'm like, yeah, it is. I was like, I mean, you can believe what you want to believe, dude, but that's what I believe, because we have over 200 people that I've seen have testimonies, and a lot of them they're real. They're real because their testimonies are so similar to other people's when they go to hell. They're all similar. Even when they go to heaven, similar. They're all different, but similar. Sorry, but it's the truth. People just don't want to believe that. They just want to say, oh, my niece. Oh, wow. How do you know which one's the real Christianity? How do you know there's so many of them? I was like, yeah. Because Satan split up Christianity to make people lose their way. Mine, obviously, is non-denomination. Follow the non-denomination. Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are the only things you should be seeking after. Follow the commandments. Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit are the only ones that you should be seeking after. Give up the world. You have to give up the world. You have to. That's what's so hard about following Jesus, is you have to give up the world to do it. You have to. And people just don't want to give up the world. They don't. They love their sinful pleasure. They love it. They love it. And like I said, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But we have to strive to be holy. We have to. It's the only way we're going to get in with the Father. The only way. It's hard. People want to say it's easy to get in with the Father. You know, he just takes us in if we believe in him. Not if you're not following his will. Even Jesus states that. You have to abide by the will of my Father. That's the only way. And this world is in a sad, sad fallen state. It really is. But anyways, guys, I think that's it for my ranting. Sorry, it just kept going and going and going, but I had a lot on my mind because I've seen a lot of stuff lately. But I'm so sorry it took me so long to get another video out. I'll try not to take as long as I did before. But I just want to tell you guys that I love you, and I'm praying for all of you that are struggling, trying to get back on that white horse to try to get on that path. Just like me. Pray for me, guys, because I need it too. I absolutely love every single one of you. Thank you so much for coming back and watching my channel, guys. I'm absolutely blessed to have all of you who do view my channel. Absolutely blessed. But you guys have a great morning, noon, or night, and I love you. See you next time.